Brother and Sister Bledsoe were kind of like royalty at Oak Grove. They cleared the land, built their house, and raised every one of their kids right here. Floyd and Imogene Wilhite live across from Mr. Corey's store, and when all the chores are done, Brother Wilhite loves to read his Bible out loud while Sister Wilhite peels apples. This is Sister Wilhite's kitchen, and she said over and over again, "My kids say this kitchen's the favorite room in the house, and I want you to meet the Stovall's. Everybody in this family is a singer, and a good one too. They live in the old place that Sister Stovall's father built. It's next to the Holiness Church campground, and the house and barn are connected by a breezeway. Comes in handy sometimes. And this Sister Ruby Bradley keeps her quilt frame up in her living room all the time, and her sweet disposition is said to be as even as the stitches she puts in her quilt. But old Charlie Bradley, now Charlie's a horse of a different color, spends a lot of time sitting on his back steps just staring out at the smokehouse. And little Eva Bell Benson is a daddy's girl if there ever was one. She'd rather be in the fields with her daddy than anywhere else. And in the evening, Eva Bell goes down in the bottom, rounds up the cows, and brings them up to the barn. That's her job every day. A few of the men at Oak Grove work in the timber, but most of them are busy with everyday farm work. Wives go to the fields with their husbands and work just as hard as the men. And I'll tell you, plowing's no picnic at Oak Grove because of all them flint rocks. The men around Oak Grove work from sun up to sundown, raking their fields, threshing their wheat, and pummeling juice out of sugar cane for sorghum. Folks at Oak Grove use sorghum as their primary sweetener. And here's old Alex Simpson and Bill Downing posing for a picture before they kill one of Alex's hogs. Everyone around Oak Grove knows that when the weather turns cold enough for leaves to hit the ground, it's time to get to butchering. But it's not all work in this closely knit community. There's church and there's music. Young Cody Owens breaks out his mandolin every chance he gets. Buster Briggs strums his old banjo, and Grandpa Lester Eaton still gets asked to play his fiddle at pie suppers and at baptizing. Here you see Lolly and Hubert Pendergrass and their little Molly getting ready to go down to Mr. Corey's store. And just to look at Wilbur Corey, you'd think he is the meanest man on earth. But this old man is loved by everybody in Oak Grove because at one time or another he'd give every one of them credit. And old Herschel Standridge is just a fixture at Mr. Corey's store. When asked why he was there so much, Herschel said, "Reckon I ain't got nothing better to do." But Herschel isn't alone. When the weather's nice, men from Oak Grove like to sit on a bench out back of the store. They whittle and spit and talk about how they wouldn't want to live any place else on earth.